Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I have been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, actually a little bit less this week and more old news that I'm just catching on to now. Content creator SoulSoBreezy uncovered that Sandworn Relic Gear on the 925 PTR can be used in the creation catalyst to make tier. This is different from my previous understanding, which is that only base items from Mythic Plus, rated PvP, and raid could be used in the creation catalyst, and it's awesome because it means that outdoor only players will be able to craft and use tier sets. It will only be item level 246, and you will have no way to upgrade its item level because there's no upgrade path for those items, but getting tier is much better than not being able to play with it for the, potentially long time that we still have to go on Shadowlands. It should be noted that this has not been officially posted. It's just a thing that currently works in the PTR, so it's possible that this goes live with the creation catalyst that unlocks in a little bit less than 2 weeks. It's also possible that it doesn't do that, but then kicks in later when 925 comes out. And it's also possible that it's just a bug or unintended or, doesn't happen at all. So I wouldn't get your hopes sky high for it, but I think it seems pretty likely that we're going to be able to use Sandworn Relic Gear to make tier. Other things that are actually from this week, there's a new item coming called the Motion Sick Peon's Magical Elixir that you can get inside of Grimrail Depot and also Maw of Souls, and it makes the moving environment pieces inside of those dungeons not moving, so that people like me that get very motion sick in those instances can play them without issue. This is fantastic and also important, since Grimrail Depot was one of the 2 dungeons that won that poll of which 2 Warlords dungeons should be included in Shadowlands Season 4. It's going to be Grimrail Depot and Iron Docks, so hooray Iron Horde. But at least me and my fellow queasy gamers will have a much easier time of it while we're in there. Another thing this week, pretty big one, is a new item called the Vestige of the Devourers has been added to the Enlightened Rep vendor at Honored Rep. And what this is an optional crafting regent that can be used with a legendary crafting recipe, even at rank 1, to make an item level 249 legendary base item. It's consumed when used, and they're 4 to 5k gold each after the rep discount, so they're not super cheap, but this does mean that it is dramatically easier for a fresh crafter to craft rank 5 base items. In theory, this should bring down the prices of 249 item level base legendary items, making it way easier to get an alt off the ground, especially if it's a character that you didn't need to max out, because not everybody has the gold for multiple 100k plus legendaries. It's also nice for anybody that's trying to level a legendary pattern so that they don't have to just spit out a bunch of really, really cheap ones that you end up deleting out of your bags. Somebody might actually buy the 249 ones potentially. There have been some issues where the item was not appearing on the vendor, and it seems like those are getting ironed out now, so if you were not able to buy those, then go back and check again. Other things, a huge congratulations to Echo for getting the world first kill of Mythic Jailer. Wow, that race was long. You got lots of gamers catching up on sleep this week. And also on the topic of Sepulchre of the First Ones, there's been several sets of raid tuning that's gone out this week to apply nerfs to a number of bosses on a number of difficulties. So progress for a lot of guilds is going to be a lot smoother going forward with those nerfs in place. And then in my life this week, speaking of raid, I have officially graduated from the 0 tier club. And aggressively so. I had one normal raid re-clear with my guild where I went from 0 to 3 pieces overnight. So now I am just either Creation Catalyst or a lucky Halandris or Raglan kill away from 4 piece, which will be kind of fun. I have found it way more interesting to raid with having 2 set because it gives me something else to think about aside from the thoughts that you are getting slowly left behind and that you will never catch up and that this is all, a sign of the times. I don't know, your brain comes up with weird stuff when you get unlucky for a while. But yeah, raid's been good, and we are now progressing on Heroic Anduin. And Heroic Anduin is tough. No amount of having 2 set is going to make us steamroll that thing. We're going to have to work on that for a while. And questions for this week. Alric wants to know, with the announcement of Castle Nathria Sanctum and Sepulchre being upcycled for the last leg of the expansion, what raids from previous expansions would you love to make a return, even if it didn't match the theme? I personally would love Nax, Ulduar, or ICC. So, I thought about this, and I came up with Firelands, which I thought was an incredible raid. However, I am biased because that was the first raid that I did properly. But Firelands. And then also, I would love a stab at Bastion of Twilight. I missed out on that one, and it looked really neat. And then the other one that came to mind was Heimal. And now that I think about those all together, it's occurring to me that maybe I just like short raids. But nothing's going to make me want Trial of Valor again, so that can't be entirely true. And Nick asks, what are you hoping to see in future X packs? Any zones, races, classes, or themes that you would really look forward to? So one theme that I think would actually be really interesting to see them tackle would be this whole like zealotry of the light as an antagonist thing. There was something going on with Rel in alternate universe Draenor after we left. I've forgotten the details, but there was something like that. And then we got hints of it in Legion with Illidan and his chandelier shattering incident. So I think that there's a thread there that they can kind of pick up and run with whenever they want. What I would hope for, though, would be to have it done in a way that feels distinct and different from just the storyline we've already seen about Titans wanting to purify things and then us going, no, don't. And then for other stuff, I would love a new ranged DPS class, to the point that I am not that picky about the theme. If I had to throw an idea that I'd want, I would enjoy a Blood Mage as a ranged DPS class, although it's hard to see how it wouldn't be a Clothy. We don't really need any more ranged Clothies, but something that kind of takes up the vampiric elements that have been kind of slowly trimmed out of Shadow Priest ever since it went to a more Old Gods form. And then you could also tack a healing spec onto it pretty easily. I think that would be kind of fun. But I would take a ranged anything. We could do turrets, we could do bards and sing people to death. I'm open. And that's the week. Thank you for watching. If you have a question for one of these, please pop it in the comments and include the word question to help me find it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day.